Your spirit is currently starving in a desert of noise. You wake up in a world that never truly sleeps, surrounded by a digital pulse that demands your absolute attention while your internal foundations are quietly crumbling under the weight of 1,000 invisible pressures. You feel a heaviness pressing against your chest, a spiritual exhaustion that no amount of modern entertainment or physical rest can lift. You reach for success, for comfort, or for the temporary numbing of a screen, but these are anchors made of lead and sand that only pull you deeper into the gray fog of the everyday. This is the modern crisis of the soul. We have forgotten how to be still because we have forgotten how to speak to the divine. We have lost the art of the inner fortress. But thousands of years ago, a shepherd boy sitting under the long shadows of a Judean night documented a sacred pattern. It is a divine way of existence that most modern seekers have walked past without seeing. Hidden within the ancient cadence of the Proverbs is a forgotten translation of a single command, a revelation that acts as a total structural renovation for the weary heart. In the next few minutes, we will reveal this secret, a truth that transforms your internal architecture and silences the roar of the world. The spirit moves, the heart listens, the life changes. To understand the necessity of this sacred pattern, we must first look into the abyss of the undisciplined spirit. We often treat our fleeting thoughts as harmless reflections, but in reality, they are the silent architects of our entire character. Every time you allow a thought of fear to circle your spirit without a heavenly order to guide it, you are removing a stone from your own defensive walls. Solomon, the wisest king to ever walk the earth, understood this spiritual military operation. He looked at the chaos of the human condition and delivered a sharp, authoritative warning that serves as our anchor today. He commanded us to keep our heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. This is Proverbs 4:23. Most read this as a gentle suggestion, but the original depth of the word keep implies a military guard. It describes a sentry standing at a high gate, eyes scanning the horizon for the first sign of an enemy scout. It is an active, aggressive protection of your inner sanctuary. Imagine a city in the ancient world, wealthy and full of life, yet lacking any physical boundaries. Solomon describes this state with haunting clarity, noting that a man who has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. In the modern context of 2026, those broken walls are our lack of boundaries with the digital world. The noise of the world acts as a symbolic antagonist, like the great red dragon, trying to breach the walls of your peace through the constant vibrations of your phone and the endless stream of envy-inducing images. To live without the divine way is to leave the gates of your heart wide open to every passing lie and every shadow of doubt. You have allowed a foreign army of distractions to bivouac in the very center of your soul. But there is a historical precedent for the structural renovation we are seeking. Long before he wore a golden crown, David was a fugitive. He lived in the raw, jagged edges of the wilderness, hiding in the cold darkness of the caves of En-Gedi. Outside the cave, King Saul was hunting him with 3,000 chosen men. Saul was a man whose heart had become a ruin. He had allowed the rot of jealousy and the darkness of pride to dismantle his internal walls, leaving him a hollow shell of a leader. David, shivering in the damp shadows of a cave, possessed the true heavenly order. He did not look at the stone walls around him for safety. He looked inward. He understood that his real fortress was not made of rock, but of the sacred pattern of total surrender to God. In the silence of that cave, David was performing a deliberate guarding of the mind. He chose to align his love with the Creator, and in doing so, he became more powerful than the army that pursued him. The world wants you to move at a frantic pace because a moving target is easier to exhaust. The sacred pattern requires a different rhythm. There is a hidden revelation buried in the original Hebrew understanding of diligence that we will reveal shortly. For now, you must see that your home office, your bedroom, and your family dinner table are all battlefields for your peace. To keep your heart with all diligence means you must station a heavenly order at the door of your spirit. When you align your heart with the Creator, you're inviting the mighty angel to stand watch over your domestic life. Imagine, as you sit at your desk in the middle of a stressful afternoon, that the Archangel Michael is standing directly behind you, his wings casting a long protective shadow over your workspace. His presence is the heavenly order that silences the digital hum. You are no longer a reactive victim of the world's noise. You are a citizen of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. We have reached the 70% mark of our journey, and it is time for the Selah moment, the absolute best point of this spiritual framework. The forgotten translation of the word keep in Proverbs 4:23 is not just to watch, but to preserve as a treasure. Your heart is the holy of holies of your own life. The diligence required is not a frantic effort, but a rhythmic, sacred pause. It is the Selah, the command to weigh and to measure. The secret to guarding the mind in 2026 is the deliberate interruption of the world's noise with the silence of the Word. It is the moment you stop the digital pulse to acknowledge the Alpha and Omega. This is the kill switch for fear. When you pause to weigh your thoughts against the heavenly order, the structural renovation is completed. As you move back into the roar of the world, do not go as a city without walls. Remember that the issues of your life flow outward from that inner sanctuary. If you keep that sanctuary clean and focused on the love of the Creator, the noise of the world will eventually become nothing more than a faint, distant hum. The structural renovation is a daily walk on the divine path. It is the constant realignment of your will with the sacred pattern of eternity. The Spirit has moved. The heart has listened. The renovation has begun. You have seen the internal architecture of King David. Now you must see the external armor of the righteous. For a deeper breakdown of the spiritual armor that protected the Apostle Paul in the heart of the Roman Empire, watch our next journey into the warrior's path. If this journey through the Proverbs has offered you a moment of stillness in today's desert of noise, I invite you to make this piece a permanent part of your life's architecture. By subscribing to Timeless Audio Reads, you are choosing to walk the divine path every week, ensuring your internal fortress remains guarded and your spirit stays aligned with the heavenly order. A simple like on this video acts as a beacon, helping this sacred pattern reach another soul who may be struggling with the exhaustion of an unguarded heart. If there is a specific verse that has served as a sentry for your spirit, Or if you have a reflection you would like to add to this study, please share it in the comments below. I read every word, and our community grows stronger when we share the wisdom we have gathered in the quiet places. Let the Selah of this moment stay with you as you return to the world. Remember, you are not a reactive victim of the noise. You are a citizen of a kingdom that cannot be shaken, guarded by the mighty angel. Peace be with you, and until our next renovation of the Spirit, keep your heart with all diligence.